Of course, I don't represent Tiger Woods, and I'm not intimately familiar with the facts of his case. But as a general rule, and certainly in the state of Oregon, a doctor's prescription is not a defense to a DUI. So you can take a prescribed medication just as a doctor has ordered you or prescribed it to you, and you can still find yourself arrested for a DUI if that medicine negatively affects your ability to think or function.
It may be hard to speak to all these different prescription drugs and what they're for and how you're using them and the state you're in and all that good stuff, but can you theoretically take your prescription drug as prescribed and still find yourself unable to operate a motor vehicle out there?
That happens every single day. Yes. I mean, the short answer is yes. A doctor's prescription does not allow you to drive a vehicle while taking that prescribed medicine. If you were to look at the prescription bottle and it says don't drive, that's a pretty good indicator that this is the type of medicine that could result in, that if you took it, could result in you driving impaired if the circumstances went entirely wrong.
It stands to reason. Is it harder for an individual to realize that maybe they shouldn't be driving?
So I think there's two categories of folks that are primarily arrested for a prescribed drug DUI, at least in Oregon. The first are people, and it sounds like Tiger would fall into this category where the medicine is a new medicine that they're taking, and they didn't realize or weren't aware of the impact that medicine was having on the way that they function. The other category of folks are people who, their quality of life has been improved by using drugs for everything from chronic pain to sleeping better to dealing with anxiety or depression. And those folks who have taken it for a long time may not be aware that the longevity that they've been taking that medicine still doesn't necessarily allow them to drive while taking it. They just haven't had to prove their sobriety to an officer. And so they believe that the level that they're taking is fine, but it may not be.
And from your perspective, how do you defend somebody for a particular crime like this where they're driving maybe not meaning to, but certainly still not able to operate a vehicle correctly? How do you defend that?
Well, there's not a line in the sand for prescribed medication like there is for an alcohol-based DUI. An alcohol-based DUI, there's a .08 or greater line in the sand. For a prescription medication, they don't, in Oregon, the amount of that drug in your system is not part of the proof against you. Just the fact that it exists in your system is proof, but not the amount. So the state, the law enforcement use what they call a drug recognition evaluation protocol, which is a whole series of steps designed to figure out if a person is under the influence of a drug. And the way that you defend that is that there are certain indicators that each drug or each category of drug will have. And if those indicators aren't consistent with the drug that the officer is alleging a person's taken, that's how you defend a prescribed medicine DUI.
Right. And then the field sobriety test, if you're an officer, how do you measure where an individual is impaired? Is it kind of the same procedure?
It's the same procedure on the street. The three basic field sobriety tests, the walk and turn test, the one-leg stand test, and the horizontal gaze nystagmus test, which is the eye test. Those are the same. There's additional testing that they do under the drug recognition evaluation protocol, dealing with blood pressure and pupil size and response to light and a whole series of other aspects that they try to use to gather evidence against a person if they suspect that person's using legal or illegal drugs.
What kind of advice do you have, MacDaniel, for people who are using prescription drugs?
I think that my advice is just to be aware of the fact that if a medicine is designed to impact your mind or is designed to numb a pain, then the whole function of that medicine is potentially to impair you, at least to a certain degree. So be aware if you're taking a medicine, if that medicine negatively affects your ability to think or function to a noticeable degree, then you could be breaking the law.